Mayfair. I got a driveway now. I don't got a parallel park, so.
Yeah, parallel parks are hard.
Well, that's how if you grew up in the Northeast and you moved to a house where you don't have the parallel park, you like leveled up.
That's it, dude. That is the level. Let's get this shindig started, dude. We got a nice cat here. How are you with cats?
I think the cat likes me.
All right, that's good. That's as long as we're. Yeah, I don't run this by anyone.
So
I probably should, dude. Hold on, let me get to the sponsors first, because we'll get into the cat.
Is the cat always here, or is he just here?
He's made a lot of cameos.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's done more work for this podcast than I have. We're back. Thanks for sharing podcast. We are brought to you by Dan Rouse at Cherry Hill Mitsubishi, KO Pest Control, KCD Construction, Pace Roofing, Colt Recording, Hoover Delivery Service, ERT Restoration, Doodah Distro, J-Bo's Creations, Kelsey Kool-Aid Art, Four Seasons Landscaping, Sharky's Barbershop, Artie Realty, Bone Marrow, Capital Adjustment, Santini's Grill, A-Plus Insurance, Tyson and Castor, Ivy Innovations, Goes With The Most Boutique, and last but not least, whenever the actual sponsor's on, I just saved them for last.
Art History
Art
101.
History 101.
Yeah. Yo, you got a great list of sponsors, though. I know a lot of them people.
Yeah,
Good businesses.
It is that is the Northeast.
Right.
I'm sponsored by Northeast
I'll be
Philadelphia.
honest with you. This podcast has brought art history so much business.
That's what's
Everybody
up.
should,
The crossover shirt's coming soon. I need to get merch made, dude. I do need to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if we did a thanks for sharing shirt and had the H be the just throwing it out there, dude. Just throwing it out there.
Yo, let's make a crazy release for that.
It could be your biggest seller, dude.
Yeah.
You know, better than the Fix Your Energy, which is my favorite shirt.
Yo, if we do a special release, where are we doing the release at Applebee's or something?
Yeah. People pull up, rent the parking lot out, dude. He'll be like, man, I like this kid's attitude. I wonder, because like a lot of my regulars know I do a podcast. I wonder if like any of them actually listen, but probably not. Like I said, I have an older crowd. I'm the daytime bartender at Applebee's.
I don't know. People are like real curious. So it's like, even when people hear, it's funny. So like when I first started making shirts like 18 years ago, I didn't know anyone that made shirts. And usually when you think of a business, there's usually a need for something. And then you're like, oh, I could supply that need. That's a business. All right. We're in 2021. Everybody makes shirts now. It's like really weird that even new companies start because there isn't a need for another clothing line.
Right. Well, you got in a little bit early, so that's good. You know what I mean?
But
before people were like...
What I was going to say is that like when I tell people like, I have a clothing line, Art History 101, you'd be surprised. Like 20 minutes later, they're following me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like people do check into it.
It was something I was always a fan of, and I just never, I don't know why. Like, like you see something, you're like, man, I fuck with that. I should buy some of it. And you just never do it. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things. And once the pandemic hit, I think I placed like a $300 order with you. I was like, fuck it, man. The government's giving me money. Done deal. And you have been nothing but supportive, and I appreciate that.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I remember I hit you up out of the blue right when I started this.
Yeah.
Because when I started, I was like, we're brought to you by Nike. Like, just companies that would never sponsor this. And I'm like, please, Nike, send me free shit. Then I was like, I'm just going to do it with like the local business. And then I hit you up and I was like, yeah, listen, if you want to sponsor, I'm just going to say you sponsor it, dude. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, and tell them what I did. I sent you a package.
You sent me a package,
absolutely.
Man. And my favorite shit is I see some people I know wearing the no discount shirt. I'm like, I get one, motherfucker.
Well, I'm an official sponsor. You know what I mean?
You are official sponsor. You were one of the first, dude.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. I do appreciate that.
Hey, dude, honor. You are a very positive guy, which I like. I like to think I'm positive negative. Like, I don't like myself that much, but I see things very optimistically a lot of the times.
Yeah. Well, I just say, like, I'm positive, like, in front of the camera and outside my house. But, like, if the cameras are off and I'm inside my house, I'm like, WTF.
Yeah, insecure, emotional. You're like, I don't know what's going on, dude. Which I think everyone is. Me and a good friend of yours, Corey Miller, better known as the Biz Mighty. He always brings up, he's like, you live in a fantasy world where you think things will work out for you. I'm like, I do, and they do. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you, is that I live in that fantasy world too, but I just call it the art history world.
Yeah, there we go.
So a lot of like the negative stuff like that don't happen in the art history world.
Yeah.
That's all the good stuff. You know what I mean?
I try not to why life's too short.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And stress will kill you.
Stress will kill you.
Yeah. And stress that was on your show will kill you too.
Yeah, he will also kill you, man. You know what I mean? Shout out. He wanted a shout out because little inside baseball, people will watch this and be like, oh, damn, dude, he's putting in work. We're doing 2 episodes today because
Nice.
the great and powerful Davron won't be here next week. So I'm doing Jeff's little brother, Jack, DJ Sev 1 afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's my guy right there.
I bought a change of shirt, and you know what? You bought me shirts, so I might just go with one of those.
Yeah.
I got to see if one of them matches my shoes, though.
I'm going to hang out for Sev. That's my boy. You know, man?
And Corey might stop by, too. I don't know.
Nice.
He's doing a side job. I listened to his podcast tonight, so shout out to the Bizzler.
Absolutely.
He started a little podcast. I was listening to it. They were talking about pro wrestling, and I was like, okay.
Yo, I just want to tell this story about Biz.
Lay it on us.
So Biz always been known about our history, support here and there, but our mutual friend Rich Quick, when he passed away, Rich was like one of like the heaviest art history supporters of all times. You know what I mean? Like he's done all the ciphers at art history. He's wore my shirts in every music video. He went on like a tour, a European tour, wore all art history. So at the funeral, I'm like crying my eyes out. And Biz comes up to me and goes, it looks like someone else going to have to take Rich's spot, like rocking art history. You know what I mean? So, like, yo, that meant so much to me that, like, it was even just recognized. And he has stopped by the store, like, a lot since Rich passed away. Well, when we had the store, you know what I mean?
And you know what? I am nowhere near the talent level of him, but you got me now, too. I wear it quite a bit on stage.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I try to wear clothing companies of just things that I think should be supported. Like, I'm a big Nike shoe guy, but I don't own like Nike shirts. Yeah. You know, now that I think about it, I'm just like, I wear a lot of art history. This other clothing company, Johnny Cupcakes in Boston.
Love Johnny Cupcakes.
Yeah, I have a bunch of his shit. Like way too much of his shit.
Yeah.
And actually Stress's boy, Chris, owns one called Omerta, which I like that shit a lot.
I gotta look into that one.
That shit's like it's like, you know, black t-shirts, plain white writing, very simple designs.
A lot of like tattoo theme stuff.
Nah, it's more like gangster stuff where it's like I'll break your face. That's like what the shirt's saying. I'm like, that's what's up, dude.
Sense.
And I'm the least tough person, and I love wearing it. And those guys like me, and they're like, oh, thanks for wearing our shit on stage. And it's like, you know, they work with cool people. You have worked with cool people, and like you guys are just like, you're like, yo, I appreciate you wearing my shit. I'm like, I do nothing, dude.
Yo, I
tell dumb jokes for 5 minutes at open mics, and I'm like, I hope this works.
Well, I try to explain this to people because like one of the most notable things I did was the hoodie that Soulja Boy's wearing and Crank That.
Yeah.
So like that video had like this crazy reach when it first dropped. There's like people in China doing the Soulja Boy dance. Like there was like a China prison where they like taught all the prisoners how to do like the Soulja Boy dance. So I'm like, yo, people all over the world seen that hoodie. It was dope. Every time it came on TV, it'd be like, oh, Jay did that hoodie, blah, blah, right?
That is awesome.
But I could be driving around the neighborhood and just see somebody like wearing an art history shirt, and it still gives me like that feeling of like, yo, that's dope.
It is awesome when you see it other places.
Absolutely.
Like Mark as a musician, and when he was rapping, his rapping, well, I guess he's a producer now, but either way, the moniker, is that the right word? Moniker? For like a different name? Pseudonym?
Actually a slur.
That's what's up, dude.
I think like pseudonym might be the
pseudonym?
Also known as an nickname.
Yeah, well, Mark's pseudonym is Ayu, and he had shirts made with just his face on it. It says "Nobody Cares," which is genius design. And my mom actually went to like Italy and Greece and like took pictures with the shirt like in front of like the Colosseum and stuff. And I was just like, we put you on, dude.
We have a. I actually have a friend and a guy that supports art history, and he travels all over the world. Like it seems like he's in a different country every week, but he takes pictures in front of all these different monuments and in different countries, like wearing art history. And
He's on the top of Everest wearing an
Absolutely.
So he's like, I climbed this shit in a t-shirt.
He's like at the Mayan pyramids. He's at like the Eiffel Tower. He's all over the place just rocking art history. So. Yeah.
Hey, I rock it a lot too. I've spent so much money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like,
and you deserve it, man.
I always feel like that. So I most people like that wear Nike and all this other stuff. The owner of Nike most likely didn't have their hands haven't touched that shirt.
They have no idea that shirt fucking exists.
Exactly,
they're like, we did that? That's what's up.
With art history, I wear a lot of hats. So most of the shirts that have ever left I either printed them. I designed pretty much
Little
most
personal
of
touch. On
Yeah,
there, you know what I
exactly.
mean?
So I always say that like when you see an art history shirt in Spain, it's like, oh, a piece of J is at the Eiffel Tower
you made
right
it to
now.
Spain. You may never go there, but
You know, it's crazy. Like we got order from North Dakota,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's so fucking dope because
and you're like, who the fuck?
I know, but I'm like, yo, I'll never go to North Dakota.
Yeah.
At least I don't have any plans on going there.
North Dakota was riding heavy with Philly for a little bit because
of Wentz.
Yeah, so there was probably something with that. But now, see you, he's gone.
Yeah,
You know,
and he got COVID as of today.
It's a sin, really. It's a sin. And you just did a new bleed green shirt, right? With Jeremiah Trotter.
Yeah,
Is that out?
yeah. Well, the thing is,
It's
we posted
coming
up for a pre-order. They'll be going out tomorrow, actually.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. So like them bleed green shirts always are like a huge release for us. There's so much hype. Like throughout the year, people would just come up to me randomly at the
My
supermarket.
brother was wearing one today. Actually, fun
Yeah.
fact. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you ever seen like the Dave Chappelle stand up where he said like we take a day off sometimes. Like I'm
Yeah.
at Disney with my kids and people are coming up to him like I'm Rick James.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm at the supermarket and people coming up to me like, yo, you should put Jerome Brown on this year's bleed green shirt. Like,
Jerome Brown would be a good one.
yeah, but it's like it don't matter. People run into me all over the place. I could be at the boardwalk with
Yeah.
like the family or wherever, and people would just come up to me and start talking shirts.
And they're like, hey, listen, I got an idea. I don't know if you want to go into it.
Yo,
You know?
everybody got $1 million idea for a T-shirt.
I think a good idea, right? And what do I know about anything about making clothes? But if you do the eagle with the ski mask one, I would, I would like that to be reprinted. Just saying, you know what I mean? If you got a small laying around in a hoodie, I would give you my money. You know?
That was a really good.
I have
shirt.
the whole mascot collection in hoodies, so that would be the last one I need because
That would fill the collection. Yeah. You know what's crazy is that one of my goals and dreams is always to do a shirt, an official release collaboration with one of the Philly sports teams.
Yeah.
Like an official art history
What do
Eagle
you feel
shirt.
like you have your best shot with? I feel like probably the Sixers.
So
Because a lot of the 97.5 guys like wear your stuff and stuff. Because
Yeah,
I watched Tyrone on
Tyrone, man, he's the man. He
Yeah,
always is wearing art
he's the
history.
man. They owe me Fantasy Fest tickets from 3 years ago or something.
If I talk to him, I'll put it in his ear.
Yeah, I was going to call up and be like, yo, man, they've given me shout outs on there. Because I did a joke about it on my special about 97.5 because I listened to it, just how unruly Philadelphia fans are. And I'm one of them.
Right.
But they just complain about winning.
Yeah.
And I did a whole thing. And that's why I was supposed to get Fantasy Fest tickets because it was when Chappelle first dropped his specials on Netflix. And they're like, we're talking about comedians tonight because it was around this time of the year. Nothing was going on sports-wise. Phillies were complete dog shit.
Right.
And they were like just talking about comedy. I was like, I actually do it. I did, I posted the thing. I posted it on Instagram. Natalie Eganoff reposted it before.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. Anthony Gargano follows me on Instagram.
Nice.
I was like, that's pretty cool. It's my radio station of choice, man.
So, about 3 or 4 years ago, DJ Ghost, who is like the official Sixers DJ, is a good friend of mine and supporter of our history. So he had asked me to like make him some shirts, but we needed permission from the Sixers, which they gave us permission. So I think I made like a dozen shirts for him, and he called me up saying like the suit and tie guys in the office like love these shirts.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna try to get them to like do something more. So they ended up ordering, I want to say like 100 shirts for DJ Ghost to like give away. They had the Sixers logo, blah blah. So I had this idea like, yo, just get me in the door so I could pitch them my collab idea.
Yeah. Believe in yourself. Why
And they loved the idea. So for like 3 months, we worked on designs and we did some shirts, blah blah. But like it never officially came out. You need like permission by the NBA.
not?
So
Fuck them, man.
right, but like here's the thing: it's not like it's off the table.
Yeah.
Like I still believe that it's still gonna happen one day.
How crazy would that be if half court just in that logo, the little tiny corner, there was the little H.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yo, the thing
That
is
would be
that
big time.
every season that like new uniforms come out,
Yeah.
I always get a tweet or something like that where like, yo, our history needs to make these
Yeah.
uniforms, and
You-
that would be a dream come true. You know.
Yeah, now that Ben Simmons in the shitter here, you probably would have done better than the Boathouse Row jersey.
Exactly.
They were cool. I liked them. A lot of people hated them. I don't know. It was mixed feelings.
Yeah, I wasn't a
liked
fan.
them. You weren't a fan.
Nah.
I thought it was a weird thing of the city to be like, this is it. Like, not even the skyline. They're like Boathouse Row.
Yeah, like that
Which is cool,
represents
but
us.
I was like, I would never think that in a million years.
I thought that it was like strange too, but it's just like it's a really clean design, which is cool. But like, I feel like it didn't represent the team like it should.
Yeah, no.
Like, I feel like the Sixers still have like that retro feel to it.
Yeah, I liked when they bought the jerseys they wear in Nailback. I hated the Iverson era ones, the black ones.
Mm-hmm.
The black, white, and what I think they did them in
Yo,
blue.
so this is another crazy thing is that when I did talk to the Sixers was that year I put out the 13 star shirt, right? So if you look at Art History's 13 star shirt, it has 7 blue and 6 red for like 76.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They made one the opposite. Is that
Like
what you're
literally,
gonna
like
tell me?
the next year their jerseys were the 13 stars.
Yeah.
Like right after we had made the shirt, you know what I mean?
Oh wow! I didn't know that because I seen the shirt and I thought it was just like they did. Oh wow, you did it first.
So listen, I'm
They're
not
watching.
Listen, I'm not saying that they stole my idea. I'm just saying that's a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, I'll fucking say it for you. I don't care. You know what I mean? The Sixers aren't knocking on my door.
Yeah, but
I did get Franklin to see one of my posts one time. Because it's when I got my thumbs tattooed with the 76 and I was wearing the hoodie.
Yo, that's
the
a
Franklin
dope
hoodie.
tattoo.
Yeah,
I love that 76 tattoo.
Shout out Kelsey, she did it.
Yeah, and then to add on to that, when the store burned down back in March, DJ Ghost did call me up and said, when you guys are ready to reopen, like I'll DJ. And Franklin said he'll come out and like support your reopen. So,
you know what? I was looking into getting mascots for this because you can get the Philly Fanatic for like weddings who's fucking book solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would be like, yo, how great would it be to have the Fanatic on the podcast? Because he doesn't talk. And it would just be an hour therapy session of me just clearing my conscience to the Fanatic. I'd be like, yo, man, listen, I'm really going through it right now. I need this to succeed, and you're my ticket out of here, man.
Yeah, well, it would just be like, you just ask him yes or no questions, and for yes, his tongue comes out.
Yeah, and he just slaps me in the face with
right.
it. I don't know if the Fanatic would fit into the frame here. I imagine that costume's huge.
I would imagine him and Gritty.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know why we don't make all our mascots fat. Like they should, because Gritty's fat and the Fanatic's fat. I feel like they should have just made Franklin and Swoop a little fat.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Just go with the motif of the city that we're a bunch of trash
The
bags.
thing is, out of all the mascots, I think that Swoop is like the weakest one. Like Gritty and Fanatic are awesome.
Yeah, I like Franklin. People hate on that.
Nah, I think Franklin's dope.
I feel like they finally got it right. The rabbit was dumb.
Yes.
He was way too buff.
Hip hop, right?
Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah.
I don't know what we had before that.
I don't remember.
I don't think anyone does.
I don't remember what was before hip hop, but like Swoop, like they need to redo him.
Yeah, make him fat.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, get me in the foot, get my
Yo,
foot in the
or
door with
have
the
him
Eagles.
have him have the ski mask.
Yeah, I'll be like, listen, make him fat and obnoxious like Gritty, dude. Because people were eating that shit up when they announced Gritty. People are like, this is the ugliest shit. Then he just started trolling people on fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
Which I'm not on Twitter, but when companies or things like that start trolling people, like I know Wendy's is like big with trolling people, and I'm like, that's so great.
Well, I remember when Gritty like first came out, he had like more followers than like other NHL teams.
Yeah.
Like our mascot would have bigger following than their whole team.
He's the only beacon of hope. They're going to be pretty good this year, though. Me and Mark were talking about it because they made some good offseason moves.
Yeah, what's up with these Phillies? Are we going for the playoffs or what?
I think they probably will get in and lose in the first round, which is fine as long as they make it in. But I don't know.
I agree. Listen, when the Philly sports teams are doing good, it's good for business.
I can imagine. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo, it's crazy.
It's right up your alley.
Yo,
it's your wheelhouse.
that's the reason why. Like, I can't believe that we haven't collabed with one of the sports teams yet. Because as soon as like a team makes it to the playoffs, like everybody's hitting up Art History. Like, yo, are you dropping like something new? Like everybody waits for.
And I imagine all the well, obviously you were talking the Sixers know of your existence. I imagine all the organizations around here know of your existence because they have like retired players. Like, didn't Dawkins wear his shirt or no? Jalen Mills wore the Dawkins shirt, right?
Yeah. So Alshon Jeffrey was seen in the locker room after we beat the Dallas Cowboys like twice in one season. It was like Super Bowl season. He was wearing our Dawkins shirt, and when he interviewed, he was like, "Can't nobody fuck with us," or whatever. So like that made like headlines all
that's
over.
Good
like,
for you, man.
yeah, ESPN, blah blah. But like the caption would say like Alshon talking heavy wearing the Brian Dawkins shirt. So everybody was like, "Where'd he get that from?"
Yeah.
And then Deshaun Jackson was seen wearing our Eric Allen bleed green shirt during training camp.
That's awesome. Dude.
So Bryce Harper was seen wearing our Gritty shirt. Carter Hart like posted it as like we sent Carter Hart a package. We got in touch with him. We sent him a package. He gave us like this crazy shout out on Instagram. It was like, yo, for dope tees, like go hit up
that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like
getting Harper's pretty big.
Yo, so with Bryce
He's the
Harper,
$300 million man, dude.
right?
You know
So
what I mean?
like with Bryce Harper is pretty interesting to me because I look at it like he's kind of like one of us.
Yeah.
So it's like he gets paid to wear Under Armour.
Yeah, I
So-
feel like he got, I feel like that's why he came here. Like I would have to think he had options. People were willing to spend that money, and he came here, which is just like,
Yeah.
he was in Washington. It's like a train ride away. It's like
Right,
you could have gone
right.
anywhere, dude.
Right. So like we did the Second Street Festival, and like someone just shows up at the Second Street Festival is like, would you give me a discount if I showed you a picture of Bryce Harper wearing an art history shirt? We're like, dude, we'll give you a free shirt. Like, and how did you see Bryce Harper? So he explained to us that he lives in South Jersey. He stopped at the local donut shop in the morning time to get his coffee.
Yeah.
The guy in front of him, he could see the art history on the back. And when the guy turned around, it was Bryce Harper. So
Wow.
he asked, like, can I get a picture? So the guy is in the picture.
How do you
with
think he got the shirt? Because I imagine if he ordered it online, you would have to see the mail saying Harper, right? Like,
They don't order their own shit.
yeah, no, I mean, someone, yeah.
So
What, you think a shell company does it?
no, what you call it? The thing is, I sent him a package.
Oh, okay.
So the thing is, like, I sent him a package and I wrote him like a handwritten letter, like we do for every customer. I basically just treated him just like another customer. You know what I mean? And just one day he popped up wearing the shirt. So I just was like, yo, how dope is that? That like when you're not working and you're just on your regular John, that you're wearing art history,
Yeah.
just like these other million people around the city. You
Yeah.
know, man?
Hey, that is pretty. That's mind blowing to me. That it's just like, yeah, man. The reach that you have, that's great. And
Well,
you-
I want to say that just kind of how you said, you were like, yeah, like I always thought your stuff was dope. I finally bought it. Now I like wear it all the time.
Yeah.
So I want to say that the strength of our brand is just getting in front of people.
yeah,
Because like once we're in front of people, they're like, yo, this is actually really dope. And then when they finally decide to like buy something, they wear it. It's comfortable. It lasts in the wash. They get compliments.
It
They
does.
come back.
and especially me, so my size is a common topic of debate with people I know. Because I have a toddler's body. It's just fucking fat, kind of. I'm not fat, but I'm skinny. But it's just the guts just there, and it's just like how toddlers stand there all carefree, and it's just protruding stomach.
Yeah, but we live in the home of the cheesesteak. So
yeah, but
everybody
whenever
got like a little belly.
depending on the shirt, I always get a small because it's just what fits me normally. But depending on what the shirt is, sometimes they're too small, and people are like, "Time to bump up to a medium." And I have so many T-shirts. I pride myself. I look today. I have not worn the same T-shirt on this fucking show.
Nice.
And this is episode like 45. This has been 45 separate weeks where I've worn something different.
Yeah.
Which I'm proud of. But the
So
smalls are right on point. You
Yeah.
made a good small.
So we have a guy. He works for us now. A good, like one of my best friends. But his goal is to own 365 art history shirts.
And
right?
one day every
And so like, and he's literally like 16, maybe even 15 at this point, because he's gonna end up getting that Trotter shirt. So he's
Yeah.
like 15 or 16 shirts away from hitting 365 art history
Yeah,
shirts.
you should just make shirts with numbers on them just to get them there. Just like a 1.
So
two.
so now what we do now since the fire, we number all the shirts.
Oh, okay.
So like when we say that there's only like 200 of this shirt,
Yeah.
that like solidifies it.
That creates the buzz.
Yeah,
Kinda
so
like what
it's
Supreme does and
the
stuff.
thing is it basically shows you its exclusivity, that there's only 200, and that
Yeah.
it's authentic, because like people bootleg art history sometimes. You know what I mean? So if they bootleg it, they're not
You
gonna.
made it, dude. People
Yeah.
are bootlegging this shit. You ever think it'll get to a Supreme level where the resale's just like sickening?
I hope so.
That would be nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I mean, it doesn't affect you. Like, I always wonder. I guess Supreme's just killing it because they make the limited drop, and it's not like it's that expensive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, what are their T-shirts if you can get it at the drop? $30 maybe the most.
yeah, and then they
Then they
resell for
resell for,
120 bucks.
Yeah,
like 3 times the
it's
amount.
kind of insane. But I guess as like the owner of it, I guess you got to be kind of pumped about it.
Well,
It's like, I'm not seeing that money, but I saw the money when they
Right.
flew off the shelf.
So the owner of Supreme actually sold it, I want to say a year ago, to like a huge investment company, and I think that he sold it for like 140 million or something like that. So
That's
like
crazy.
that's why, hey, if they start reselling art history and it gets real big, I'm not turning down 140 million.
Yeah, I'm not turning down anything over 6 figures. I'm not turning down a lot, dude. Sometimes I think about my life problems. I'm like, my life problems would probably be solved with like $3,000. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, like, we already do 6 figures. You know what I mean? We're actually
Whoa.
we're on our way to doing 7 figures. It kind of sucks because like the fire happened in March, and then that exposed like a lot of the things we weren't doing right.
Yeah.
And like now I have like lawyers, accountants. I have multiple lawyers now. You know what I mean? And I have a business coach as well, right? So everybody, all three of my lawyer, my accountant, my business coach were like, Jay, you know that you could have been having $1 million company here. You could have had this, you could have that, but you just weren't doing these things right. So now like moving forward, I'm just getting my stuff together, and then like we'll see what happens. I'm trying to get to that supreme level.
See, you took that with good stride, I imagine, because me, I would have been like, well, what the fuck, dude?
It was hard. It's hard to sleep at night knowing that like you
like,
could have been doing something.
Hey man, you could have had $1 million, but you didn't.
But what it all comes
it's
down
like getting a Powerball ticket and being like one number off, and you're just like, I don't even want to. Well, one number off, you still get like $1 million, I think. But
well, the thing that could ruin your day, ruin your week, ruin your
really could.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you just gotta move on.
You gotta move on, dude. Mm-hmm. Hey man, you know
keep
what?
Keep it pushing.
You do keep it pushing, man. I admire it a lot, dude. I go to sleep with doubts in myself, and that's just me. Where I'm like, what am I doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like honestly, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I started doing comedy like 2-3 years ago. I'm 32, and I'm like, I work at Applebee's, and I live with my parents.
Yeah, but the thing is that I like love about your stuff, your podcast, your comedy, that you're super consistent.
Yeah.
We know that every week, like a new podcast is coming up.
All these two gentlemen.
So I always tell people that's the name of the game here. That's the trick, is like longevity and consistency.
Yeah, it is.
I mean? Staying in the game, not quitting, and then constantly being consistent.
See, I get more happy with consistency than like let's just say like we were talking before a little bit about the numbers, because I will get so clouded by that, because like I'll post something and it's like, you got 5 likes, and like I see someone like post like a selfie and it's like 200 likes, and I'm like, what am I doing that they're not doing?
You're not showing enough skin.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen,
sex sells. That's what we were just talking about before.
Sex sells, but I don't, dude. You know what I mean? Which is fine, dude. Well, hopefully, when we do the second episode, I don't know. Well, it might take some convincing. I did say when Jack comes to do this podcast, we will both be shirtless for it.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens, which is super comfortable for him because he's ripped, but I am doughy.
Yeah, I want to say that most of that's what he does. He's like a model on the side.
Yeah, he's kind of modeling on the side.
Yeah,
and I was literally on the phone with Jeff before this, and he was like, if you because I told him the idea a while ago. Yeah, I was like, next time Jackson, we're going to do it. We're both going to be shirtless. And he's like, do not do that. And I'm like, we're probably going to do it, dude. We'll get a huge female demographic. They'll be like, oh man. Yeah,
well, you got to ask Sev how you get that many likes. He's going to tell you got to take your shirt off.
You got to take your shirt. He broke down like how to Instagram, dude, and it was just I was so over it like within 2 seconds. Not like in a bad, I guess it's in a bad way, but the work that goes into it.
Yo, so
just build a brand via that, and I'm sure you guys are at like 10,000 followers.
So the thing is, I've known Sev for a long time, and he came to Art History to get shirts made right before COVID happened.
Yeah.
So he was like showing me some different things about like making videos and social media and stuff like that. So there definitely is like a science behind it.
Oh, he knows it, dude. Yeah, he broke it down, and the amount of work that it's just like, I find it draining enough. And if I didn't, with the podcast and comedy, if I didn't need social media for that, I would not have it at all, which I'm sure you can relate to being a business owner.
Well, the thing is that I actually like want to unplug. Like I wish that I could just turn my phone off for like a month and just like regroup.
Yeah.
And I want to say that they say like people on social media, their mental health is like bad. They got depression, anxiety, stuff like that. So it's like I want to unplug, but that's how I run so much of my business on social media.
That's how I've been, because I just got on TikTok because Mark started doing TikTok with the reptiles, and him and Davron were like, you need to get on TikTok. It's like the new, which at first I'll get sucked in on TikTok, and I just look at them, I'm like, these people are just mentally ill. And I know this because I'm mentally ill, and I'm watching these people. I'm
it takes one to know one.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm doing this into a camera on my phone. I'm like, do you not realize how insane that is?
I know. I agree.
And that's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
It's the burden.
Well, the thing is, all these jobs are like saying like they're understaffed and like looking for help, and I was like, yeah, because everybody just wants to make money off of like social media, YouTube, their phone,
Yeah.
this, that, and other thing.
I'm one of them, dude.
Exactly.
Believe me, I am one of them.
And I want to say that's one of the reasons why you can't get physical labor. You know?
Yeah. If this ever got a big contract, I would just be like so happy. I would be out of Applebee's so fast. I would quit in an epic fashion, so that would be the day you would want to go.
Yeah.
Like someone would be walking by with like a fucking tray of drinks, I would be slapping out and be like, I'm done with this place. See you later, and just never come back. And immediate act like I don't know any of those people. Then realize the contract, if the contract ever came for this, it would probably be good, but like fucking these two would be getting broken off. You know what I mean? I'd be like, here, dude, you guys do everything.
Yeah, well, I know someone that I'm actually really close to somebody.
I'm aware.
Yeah, that has made millions off their podcast, and that's Gillian Wallow.
Yeah.
And like I've known Gilly for a long time, over 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he got that contract from Barstool, he goes, I didn't even know what a podcast was 10 months ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
He got a little bit above ahead of the curve on that one. You know what I mean?
well, what it was, he built his Instagram following and then did the podcast.
Yeah.
And then Wallow had a big Instagram following too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, them two together just make like
Oh, it's
the
magical.
chemistry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they
chemistry's
just-
great.
yeah.
Yeah, which it's hard to get chemistry with people, especially like in the small amount of time I've been doing this, about a year now, dude. It's like hard to get chemistry. And I think the beauty of this podcast is so many people who watch podcasts are like, I could be on a podcast. And I'm like, well, here's your chance, dude. Because it's like not every week it's like someone who does something. You know what I mean? It's just like, I just have my boy on.
Yeah.
That's
Yo,
my boy. And people are like, what? And it's
so who's like one of the best guests that you have as far as best chemistry?
Corey was really good.
But that's like your homie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Corey raps. My buddy Chris Wallace, who's just funny.
Yeah.
He's just a funny guy. He doesn't do comedy. He makes like little clips on Facebook and stuff, and they're funny. Or
Yeah.
he'll post a funny status. It was good chemistry with him. My buddy Naeem was real good. He did it. I met him through doing stand up, and like certain people had like good chemistry. Then like some people and we bring it up all the time on here. Like my best friend Nate came on and did the podcast.
Yeah.
And he just shut down.
It was super dry.
He was terrible. Which he's getting his redemption shot very soon. We're having him back on. We haven't done a repeat guest yet, but he will be the first one because I talked about him. He was like in New Orleans when we started doing this.
Yeah.
I forget what he was doing. He was like working down there. And I was like, he was supposed to be like the first guest, dude. We went through like 5 first guests. Jeff was technically the first guest, but like issues happened with his episode, like technical stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
So
you
we never
telling me
put it
about
out.
that. Yeah.
And then my buddy Billy did it. And me and Billy had good chemistry because Billy was just...
Yo, this is what I think you need. I think that you just need a viral moment to happen on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan has like highlights of Joe Rogan podcast on YouTube that gets
Yeah.
millions of views. It'd be like Joe Rogan goes on rant about happiness.
Yeah,
And then
I'm
for
just-
10 minutes he just talks and it
Dude,
goes viral.
Hey,
You know
if
what
it
I
will
mean?
be successful enough, I'll let someone come on here and shoot me. I'll be like, you can just shoot me in the arm and we'll film it, dude. You know what I mean? I will not press charges. It will just be a viral video. And that would probably do well. It's like, dude gets shot in the arm on his podcast.
Dude, the crate challenge is blowing up.
Yeah, I'll do the crate challenge. I don't care.
It's
dude.
like the stupidest shit just blows up on
You'd
social
be
media.
surprised what I do to get out of Applebee's. You know what I mean? Not that it's even a terrible job. It's just I don't want to be there anymore. You know what I mean?
Have you done the crate challenge?
No, I haven't done it.
See-
I don't even know where to get that many crates. I don't know where people are getting these crates from, dude.
It's the hood. You know that there's
Yeah.
probably like some cracker that be like, yo, I could find you all the crates for
Yeah,
$5.
they probably
You
got
know
all
what I mean?
dude, they definitely do have all dude, the last time I seen that many crates is like just driving through Frankfurt, which cracks me up because it doesn't matter what time of day
Yeah.
in Frankfurt, you're driving around and there is a kid playing basketball in a milk crate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about 6 a.m. or midnight. They're just out there and I'm like, what are you doing? And it's like the kid's 5. I'm like, really? Frankfurt creeps me out, dude.
Yeah.
And as you know, I spent some time in Kensington. I wasn't like a Kensington warrior, but like I was there to handle business of the drug affairs. And I never, it's like a business there, but like every time I'm in Frankfurt, I'm like, there's just something sketchy about it where I'm like, I don't feel safe.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing is that like Kensington is being like gentrified as we speak.
Yeah, they got to push it somewhere.
Yeah, so like really next door is like Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Which sucks because like
Yeah.
it's crazy to think like our parents and grandparents and stuff like that are like from Kensington and Frankfurt be like, yo, our neighborhood was so beautiful back in the day. It's like,
well, my mom grew up in Olney, and I don't think she ever said that about Olney, and that was years ago. She was like, nah, it's still the same. It might be worse now. And I'm like, yeah, probably. Who knows?
I don't know too much about Olney, so I can't say.
Me neither. She went Olney, Morel, then here.
That's a come up.
My mom had a weird route. She went from South America to Olney, so it was like shithole to Morel to Ben Salem. You know what I mean? She made it out of Morel, dude. No, but we got super sidetracked. The one thing I love about this podcast is so many people come on here.
Yeah.
That listen to podcasts and they're like, I could do this. And I'm like, this is your chance to do it. I think it's the beauty of this podcast.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, man, whatever. And you learn a lot about, like, one of my, like, I'll get criticisms, not like bad, like just advice afterwards. It's like a lot from these two.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like, I remember in the beginning, they're like, you talk a lot. And I'm like, well, some people give me nothing, dude.
Right. So what I realized over like starting art history, when I worked for Mesquite, I did like a lot of stuff for music videos and stuff like that. And what I noticed is that I could be sitting here talking to somebody in a normal conversation, but as soon as a camera goes in front of their face, they like turn on this character.
Yeah.
Some people get super shy. Some people get super extra.
Yeah.
They try to act extra cool, whatever, blah, blah. So like the trick is just being yourself in front of camera. You know
I feel the majority of the people who've come on done this have been themselves. You know what I mean? And it's just, that's fine, dude. And some people are just not like, hey, like I think people think that this is what's like supposed to be like a big comedy podcast. I'm like, it's just me and my boys. If it's funny, that's great. There's usually at least like one funny part. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm on all the time where I'm like, so this, like, I don't got a punchline for everything where I'm like, I'm not that good. You know what I mean? Some people are, and that's probably why they're like successful at this. And I'm just like, hey, you know?
Yeah, but not all successful podcasts need comedy.
No, most people I know that listen to podcasts, they're like, I like ones about murder, and I'm like, okay, psycho, you know what I mean? Which that's what they're into.
Yo, it's amazing how many people like love horror shit. You know what I mean? So like, listen,
Dabron's a big horror guy. He made a horror movie.
Last year in October, we decided to dedicate the whole month of October to horror history. So we put out all horror movie themed shirts. Right?
I know.
We crushed it. Like it was like such a successful month for us that this year coming up is going to be Horror History Month too.
Okay.
So like we'll be dropping a bunch of horror movie stuff, and like our reach on that has been so crazy, and it has brought like so much new clientele our way.
Yeah, around Christmas I was up doing Christmas shopping for my family, and I got these two each art history shirt because I'm gay like that. I got him the gritty one, and he loves horror movies, so I got him the Jason one, and they were like, "Oh, thanks. We didn't even expect anything." And I'm just like, I mean. It is what it is. It's not like I went above and beyond for him, but I was just there, and I was like, dude, they would love this shit.
Yeah.
It's the thought that counts, I think.
Absolutely.
Do you have your stuff picked out for the next horror stuff yet? I mean, October's coming up.
We have one already done. One design already done, which is super dope, but I can't give any hints right now.
Top
You know
secret,
what I mean?
man.
Yeah. But like so many people ask me for different things. So people ask me to do Michael Myers, right?
Yeah.
So last year everybody's like, put out Mike Myers, put out Mike Myers.
Well, you did Jason, Freddy. Did you do Mike Myers?
No, we did Evil Dead as the first one.
Oh.
And that one was super fire.
Yeah.
And it sold out. We did the shirts, the hoodies. The second one we did Jason, shirts and hoodies. That sold out. And then the third one was Freddy. But the thing is that Freddy came out like maybe like 2 days later than it should have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it still was super successful.
Yeah.
Also, October 1st, or I should say the last day of September going into October 1st was when Trump made the speech, bad things happen in Philadelphia.
I bought that immediately.
So, so in the middle of the night, people started texting me saying like, Jay, you got to make it bad things happen. And by the morning time, by 9 o'clock the next morning, we had already posted it up.
See, that has to feel good that you did very well with that shirt. And
it did
I imagine.
fantastic.
And the amount of people from this area who just also did that. Not the same design exactly, but I mean, it's like a phrase that like everyone in here is like, we're capitalizing on this.
Oh, absolutely. But see, that's the thing.
And that's the beauty of life in general, that like no matter what you're doing, whether it's comedy, music, art, making shirts, you know what I mean? Like there's enough for everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
To succeed, you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
There's enough money out here for everybody.
Exactly.
So with the bad things happen in Philadelphia, it's funny. So like at one point, I want to say this when Trump said that he was going to like run for president, people were like, yo, you should make a Trump shirt. But then people were like, fuck Trump. You should make a fuck Trump shirt. And then other people would be like, you should make America great. Like,
yeah, you should have just made both.
So
and everyone would have been.
Well, so here's what we did though, right? Is that because I don't really know much about politics and I'm not a political guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't follow in politics in the art history world, just like don't mix.
Oh, it depresses me. Like my parents watch the news every night and I'm just like, this is too, like it will be like 5 minutes and I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, I'm going upstairs.
Right.
This is too draining.
So here's what we did. We put Donald Trump on a shirt and then we put the word supervillain over his eyes, right? The thing is that people love the Joker. The Joker's a supervillain. People love Thanos. Thanos is a supervillain. So it's like you could have. It's how you interpret it. So there was people that loved Trump that bought the supervillain shirt. Yeah. And then there's people that hated Trump that bought the supervillain shirt. It's just how you interpret it.
See, wins, dude.
We walked a fine line on that one. Yeah. You know what I mean? So even with the bad things happen in Philadelphia shirt, people hated Trump, but they were like, bad things do happen in Philadelphia. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it is a very big statement. I think bad things happen everywhere, but happy we made national news about it, dude.
Yeah, but it was a really good shirt.
It's just the craziness of that whole election, especially we were all shut down, locked down. Like I had the dudes from Four Seasons Landscaping, and they blew up off of it because Giuliani gave that speech there, and people were like, "This idiot did a speech at a landscaping place for Trump," and like people were like, wow. You know what I mean? And those dudes ended up killing it. Like they were like selling shirts like crazy. Like they're a landscaping company.
Yeah.
And they sold shirts like crazy because people were like, I need to be a part. People were driving from like all over the country to see a landscaping place in Northeast Philadelphia.
Yeah. So that happened with us when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl. People were driving all for like an hour just to get to the art history store, like buy a shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like all about people. Like when something is trending, people want to buy something as far as like almost like a souvenir.
Yeah, I don't know why you're not designing a shirt right now with just the milk crate on it.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it, but right now it's just that we're not at full capacity after the fire.
True.
You know what I mean?
You gotta give it time. You're missing out on crate shirts, man.
Absolutely.
You can make it a basketball hoop, dude, and just write Frankfurt on it, and people will be like, "I get it, dude."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I seen like a meme that had like the crate as like a basketball net, and then like it says like 1990. You know what I mean? And then it'll be like 2021. It'll be like someone walking on crates. Yeah. Like,
people really love that shit, dude. It's fascinating. I want to know who started doing it. That it was just like, where did these things happen from, dude? This is when I start believing in conspiracy theories because I'm like, is this a government conspiracy theory to distract us from something? Because people have just went completely apeshit over milk crates, and to get that many. Yeah. That takes like a lot of crates. That's like at least 40 crates. Mm-hmm. Isn't that insane to you? It's insane, right?
Well, the thing is, as far my mom tried to tell me like, I heard that the milk crate challenge is like banned in certain states now because like someone died from it.
Yeah, why not? That's like most things in life. They're like, it's banned, dude. You know what I mean? I think when we were kids, they were like, Pokemon's banned. It's giving kids seizures. And I'm like, is it?
Yeah, they do that. Every time something's like,
Those were the days, dude. Pokemon.
Yeah. We live in weird times right now. We
really do. Where viral sensations are just like what takes over, dude. It takes 2 seconds to become famous. Mm-hmm. And it takes 2 seconds to be unfamous, too. So I guess being relevant for any amount of time doing anything is that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, longevity is definitely an accomplishment.
Yeah, this will live on forever. You know what I mean? These podcasts, if I ever have kids, that will just go on forever and ever. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, he did it. He drove around with a picture of his face.
But also is that this is what's so crazy at the time that we live. And is that like, even though something's like super hot today and everybody's doing it, they'll forget about it by tomorrow because they're already on to like whatever the next big thing is.
We're going to forget about milk crates in 2 weeks. Dude. Yeah. None of us will care. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing when you talk about like shirt business, like Supreme, like how long is Supreme going to be able to keep their hotness for? You know what I mean?
The owner's smart. You got that money and dipped.
Well, I want to say that's usually should be the goal.
Yeah, get the money. And
accomplish your goals and like get the money and then, create some generational wealth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's always a topic of every week. Like the big topic, I guess, was everyone Sunday. I was just reading on Facebook. People were obsessed with Donda.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
Were you happy with it?
Nope.
Nah, I wasn't either.
Didn't like it, man.
But the marketing behind it was genius because everybody
Yeah,
did
everyone-
listen to it
yeah.
at least one time.
I know. I feel like people like it came out at 2 a.m. People were at 2:01 in the morning. They were like, this is the best shit I ever heard. I'm like, you listened to a 4-hour album in 1 minute, dude? That's crazy. I had like 2 songs. It was like I started off with 2 songs. I made my way through it, tried to,
Yeah,
and I was just like, I don't,
well,
And I think the era of music that I like I loved College Dropout. I loved
Yeah,
the
so
Late
did I.
Registration. I loved
Yeah,
Graduation. I loved all of those. But I'm like, he can do so much better, I feel, than this.
yeah, but also is that I think that this is just my opinion. When you hit a certain level of wealthiness, that
Yeah.
you lose touch of just like the average guy.
Yeah, being a regular person.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like it changes your mind about so much different things, but also changes his style of art and
Yeah.
everything like that, you know?
Well, we talked about it a couple times on here, like when people ask me about like hopes and dreams of like doing comedy, they're like, what level of fame do you want to reach? And I'm like, to be able to go into a mall still.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somebody recognizes me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
To remain a human being.
yeah, I
Especially
seen,
with
like-
comedy.
yeah.
Like, dude, Chappelle's great. And the fact that he keeps pumping out new material is amazing because it's like, how do you stay a normal person and just go about your life? Because I imagine when you go places, people are like, holy shit,
Right.
you're Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Or with Rogan.
Right.
But they keep pumping it out. You got to keep some normalcy in life, dude.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like certain celebrities that I know personally,
Yeah.
right?
Subtle flex, I like.
It's like it's like some of them became weirdos and then some of them actually just stayed who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
The second Kanye put out that Whoop Diddy Scoop song, maybe I guess it was like 6 years ago now. It was a long time ago. That's when I was like, so many people think he's crazy, and he's probably crazy to a degree, that I think he's just feeding into it and trolling people.
it's possible.
And he's like, this is going to make millions, and I didn't really try
The thing
at
is
all.
that he's a billionaire, so he's doing
Yeah.
something right.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I mean?
plays into it. Good for him.
The thing is, you seen Kanye's like sneakers and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
the new sandals that they put out. I see people wearing them. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think I kind of lump his music into his shoes. Like I did have a pair of the Zebras, and
Yeah.
I was just like, eh. And I'm such like a loyal Nike guy,
Yeah.
so I can't do Adidas.
Yeah.
But they hurt my toes. They were my size, but apparently you got to go like a size up with them, which in my sneaker collection, like the OCD is so insane that if they're all not 10.5s in there, like I
Yeah.
can't stomach it.
Yeah. So what was the most recent pair of sneakers you got?
I think I got a pair of Cortezes. I wear mostly Air Max 90s.
Got you. I just bought them.
Air Maxes of any sort.
I just
I'll
got
wear.
them Lightning 4s that just came out over the
Yeah,
weekend.
I
I'm a
like-
big Jordan guy, and like I try to. Even the people that work for me, they like love my son, and they treat him like family too.
Yeah.
So my son has a lot of the Jordans that I have. So like, someone bought my son the Jordan 4s, and I got the Jordan 4s. you know?
Fours are up there in my favorite silhouette of Jordans. 4s and 1s. You're wearing 1s right now. I
Mhm.
noticed because
Yeah.
people's sneakers. You see what I'm doing?
Everybody thinks that I'm trolling because I love Jordan 2s, right?
Yeah, I saw you posting a lot about it.
I
There's
love
nothing
Jordan
wrong with
2s,
it.
right? But and people are like they're the worst Jordan that ever came out. I'm like,
I think there's worse, but that's me.
you're right.
Yeah.
They're up to like 34 right now,
Yeah.
like Jordan 34.
People really like 5s a lot, and I don't dislike 5s, but I just think they're like look a little weird.
yeah.
I don't even wear my Jordans that often. Like I have 4 pairs of 4s,
Mhm.
which is like them and 1s are like my favorite. 11s are up there too. I like 3s, but I'm like I'd rather wear Air Maxes. They're just so comfortable.
Absolutely.
Jordans aren't really like
Air Max 95s. I love my Air Max 95s.
I'm a big 90s guy. I'm a big 1s guy.
Yeah.
I like the obscure ones that they tried doing later, like they did the Air Max 200s, which it's just the dad show, and no one bought them, so they got knocked down to like $50.
Yeah,
And I bought like 8 pairs of them. I was like, these are so comfortable. You're all crazy.
Yeah. But I'm like a sneaker collector too. I have so many pairs I've never even worn before.
Yeah, I wear all mine.
Yeah.
I have a lot too.
So when I was like 16, 17, my first job was at Foot Action.
Okay.
I worked there up until I started going to school for fashion design.
Yeah.
And then I worked at Kicks part-time and went to college for, fashion, whatever. So like when I first got a job working for Mesquite, I was still working at Kicks. So literally like since I was a teenager, I was always in like that sneakers and clothes world.
I usually think that's how many great success stories start with people like I used to work at a sneaker store because there's so many people who blew up. They were like, I used to work at a sneaker store. Now I'm fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Now I buy all the sneakers.
Yo, I
dude.
seen like Andre 3000 like started off like working at a sneaker
Yeah,
store.
this
and
one
he's-
comedian, Gerard Carmichael, who I think's very funny. I don't even know if he does stand-up anymore. I think he does like more production stuff. And he's killing it doing that, but like he used to work at like a Foot Locker, and I'm like, that's crazy. It's all these people who used to work at a sneaker store, and they're just killing it now.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the goal in life.
Yeah, well,
Work
it's
at
a good
sneaker
start.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I get a job at Foot Locker or Foot Action right now and be like, yo, you guys hiring? I just want to blow up.
Yeah, it's a good start. Our history,
I'll work 2 hours a week, man. I
Yeah.
really don't need this job.
our history's hiring. That's a pretty cool start. But I don't know too many people that have success stories behind working at our. We haven't been around long enough.
Yeah, I'm sure one day they'll blow up, dude. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll get sick of Applebee's one day. I'll just come work for you. Then I'll be like, I made it, dog.
Yeah, shit, you could be a
Yeah.
bartender at the art history store.
Yeah, I'll do it. Why not, dude? It's just, it's a super easy job bartending. I don't know. I work with people who are like, oh man, I want to learn the bar. I'm like, literally just pour whatever in a cup. You think people fucking know?
I want to say most drinks are their name.
Yeah, dude. And I've had people ask me shit like that. They're like, how do I make a rum and coke? I was like, I feel like you can figure this one out. So we train managers at ours and fucking swear to God, a milkshake came in.
Yeah.
So the bartender has to make that because the blenders are behind the bar. And she just put ice cream in there and hit blend. And she was like, that looks real thick, doesn't it? I was like, yeah. And she was like, was I supposed to put milk in it? I was like,
It's called a milkshake.
yeah. I was like, yeah, it's in the fucking name, dude. You didn't put that together? I'd be more shocked if you just put milk in there. Like, I would be less shocked.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you just put ice cream in there. And
Plus, with your phone, you could Google anything.
yeah, you can. If I ever get hit with a drink I don't know, which happens every once in a while. I'm not the best bartender in the world, but I'm just like, hey,
Well,
here's how it is. But
that's
nothing's ever
the-
that complex.
People always ask me, like, I get a lot of this, like, especially on my DM, like, could you give me some advice? Like, I'm trying to start my own.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's the advice. Just do it.
Not only that, you could Google and YouTube whatever you want to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I YouTube a majority of things, dude.
Yeah. Well, there
If
ain't,
I have the patience to make it through it. 'Cause
you know
I'm
what I
very-
think? People think that there's, like, some secret sauce to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've actually seen people come into my store, feel the shirts, feel the tag, ask me, is this screen printed? Is this, is
Yeah.
that, blah, blah. They want to know everything,
Yeah.
but they don't get it.
What's
Like,
the third can on this fucking thing? And it's like,
Well,
I don't fucking
the thing is, I'll be like, there is no secret sauce to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
There really isn't, dude. There's no rhyme or reason for anything. And I was talking to my buddy before this on the phone, and because we were just talking about success in general, and I was like, you know what it takes for anybody to make it in any field in this world is for one random asshole to like what you do.
Mhm.
It's great to have fans and a following.
yeah.
It really takes one person to be like, I like this, and that can set so much up for you.
Yeah.
You know how many record contracts like famous rappers, musicians, rock stars have gotten just because one dude liked it? You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
The thing is that I seen
Could have
that-
happened with Metallica. Like one person was like, people are like, I'm not really feeling this, and someone was like, this is special.
Yeah, I mean, back when I was younger, everybody wore jerseys, and then Jay-Z came out and was like, I don't wear jerseys, I wear button-ups, and then all of a sudden, like, nobody wore jerseys anymore.
Yeah,
He had, like, that much influence.
exactly, dude. All it takes is Jay-Z to come in here and be like, hey, listen, man, I like this podcast, and people be like, this is best shit I ever heard, dude.
Yo, I
I would be a little shocked if he did that. I'd be like, holy shit, dude. You ever meet Jay-Z, dude?
Nah, I wish
No?
I did. Nah, my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even still,
Even still.
we were talking about that. Because one of the few songs I liked on Donda is the one that he's on.
Yeah. Love
And,
Jay-Z.
yeah, I don't know.
Not
Love the
only my
Reasonable
favorite,
Doubt.
not only my see, like that's the thing is that especially like Jay-Z, Nas, blah blah, like a lot of people like Nas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just always like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
music's
Like-
so subjective that it's just like,
Yeah.
people like what they like. It's like
Yeah.
ice cream. Everything in this life is like ice cream.
But
People
I'm
choose
like-
a flavor they
yo,
like.
Right, I'm a big. It's weird that it's like this, but I'm a big fan of all like the rappers from Brooklyn are like my favorite ones, like Biggie, Jay-Z, and Fab.
Yeah.
They're all from Brooklyn, but
Yeah,
like,
they all got that swagger about
yeah,
them, too.
like I like them three. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a homer when it comes to it. I love Black Thought. He's like probably number one on my top 5. Big Black Thought guy. I think Little Dicky is legitimately one of the best rappers ever, dude, when he's not making joke songs. And people
Yeah.
are like, you're kind of insane for saying that. I'm like, have you ever heard songs where he just rapped?
Lil Dicky's super dope.
Yeah, I heard he's a weird guy in real life.
Yeah, I never met him, but he's.
I
super
never
dope.
met him either. I feel like I watched the show and he's like very recluse, social anxiety guy, and I've heard that he's like that, and I'm like,
I think
yeah.
he'd blow up on this podcast.
Yeah, if I can get him, dude, I'll try. You know what I mean? I'll reach out to his people. I'll be like, yo,
Yeah, he's on a whole nother level now. He got his own show and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
it's a very good show too. I've watched both seasons. I was not
it's
disappointed
pretty
with
funny.
either of them.
It's pretty funny. I've seen it. It's funny.
Yeah, so but yeah, when it comes to hip hop rap, I'm just like usually the hometown guys. I don't know why.
The thing is, like,
Not a big Meek guy though, and everyone's like, "Oh, but you're such a hometown guy." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me."
I hear you. I like the thing.
I know
is,
that's
like,
blasphemous. Like, because when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I had to hear his fucking song every 2 seconds, and I was
Right.
like, "Yeah, I mean, whatever, dude.
right.
It's fine. I'm not hating on the dude.
I'm
He's successful."
I'm a big hometown guy too. Like, I love a lot of people from Philly. You know what I mean? I support a ton of rappers from Philly. You know what I mean? Right now we're doing the I'm So Philly, I'm So
I saw
Ill
that.
challenge. Yeah. So
we got to get. I'll get some bars on there. I'll do this. I'm so ill, literally sick to my stomach of how dumb I am. I'll just be like, "Yo, I'm just really not doing well, guys." I'll pick up one of those shirts. I'll wear it on stage, man. We'll get the word out there.
yeah, I always say I should have been a rapper instead of a shirt guy.
Yeah, I wish I could rap. It seems like such an interesting skill to have. That
Absolutely.
and being able to do backflips. I'm just
Absolutely.
like, those are two things. If I could do like any gymnast type of stuff, I feel like that's so impressive when someone's like, "I can do a backflip right now." Like you're immediately like, "I want to see you do a backflip."
Well, now that I don't know about you, but I'm feeling older now. My legs don't work like they used
Yeah,
to.
nothing on me works ever, dude. Me and Mark were talking about.
For Mother's Day, me, my brother, and my little nephews were playing like a basketball game, and I like twisted my ankle super
Yeah.
bad. I only played for like 10 minutes. I twisted
Yeah.
my ankle for the next couple of days. My ankle swelled up. I'm like, this is why I don't play basketball no more.
Yeah, dude, I get aches and pains every night, and I do nothing athletic or anything that involves effort. You know what I mean? But me and Mark were talking either because we're big video game guys.
Yeah.
And we're doing a Super Smash Brothers tournament, and he was like, "I need this controller fixed because my hands don't work." Because he has arthritis and like carpal tunnel. He has everything wrong with his hands; they just don't work.
Yep.
And I'm like, "We're old that we're talking about. We're talking about playing a children's game competitively, and about how our hands don't work. What is the world coming to?" And these people are like my heroes now. I watch like professional gamers, and I'm like, damn, they're so good. And then they're like, I'm 23, and I'm like, I'm probably a dinosaur to them, and I'm not even that much older.
Yo, so like me growing up, my brother's 2 years older than me, and my brother still plays video games to this day, right?
Yeah.
I really never got into playing video games because, first of all, my brother would always just be like, I'm playing. He's the older, bigger brother, right? Especially like if it was a 2-player game, he would want to master the game first before playing me.
Yeah, he'd be like, we don't got second control, and it's like, I see you right there.
Right.
And he's like, nah, fuck you.
Or there's times where it's like, we're playing Madden, and I'm about to like kick a winning field goal, and he'll like smack the controller out of my hand. He'll turn it off. He'll turn the game off real quick. Like
he freaks out.
Yeah, he don't like
him.
he don't like to lose.
I'm
so.
very competitive, but like I'll be upset if I lose, but I'm not like I'm gonna slam this controller against the wall, like because I see people do that. I'm like, how do you get that angry?
Yeah,
especially when people watch.
We were
sports.
kids back then, but it's like he plays sports. I mean, he plays the games now with like his son and everything like that. I think his son's like 8 years old or something. So.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we went over there playing Mortal Kombat. Now, mind you, I haven't picked up a controller in like 20 years.
Yeah, you win?
Of course I did. It's crazy to think that Mortal Kombat back then is still the same Mortal Kombat, just better graphics.
Exactly.
So yeah, I was still kicking ass.
You
Like
just had it in the fucking muscle memory. I'm big on not letting kids win in video games. It sounds a little cruel because my nephew lives with me. He's 6 and he always wants to play Nintendo with me.
Yeah.
And whatever we play, I just smoke him in it because it's just he doesn't comprehend it yet. You know what I mean? Like we'll play Mario Kart and I'm like, there's no fucking shot in hell that I'm not coming in first place in every race, dude. And I feel like that will make him better one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, losing is always a part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was getting mad though because I kept beating him, and he was like, "This is unfair," and I was like, "Get better." You know what I mean? Hard life lessons from Uncle Joe. I'm just like,
Yeah, well, while you're doing the podcast, he needs to be at home practicing.
he wanted to play. I came home from work and he was like, "You want to play video games?" I was like, "I gotta go do the podcast," and he was like, "What podcast?" And I was like, "Whatever, dude. You don't even care about my dreams." Then my niece, who's 2, is like, "I want to be on it."
Yeah, it's
And
funny.
I'm like, no.
My nieces and nephews. My sister called me up. This is like a couple weeks ago. She called me up on speakerphone with her kids in the room. They're like, they don't believe that you did Soulja Boy's shirts and hoodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Uncle Jay's the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uncle
I killed
Jay-
that shit, man.
Right. Uncle Jay's the man. Why don't you think that? They thought that we were lying to him. But
That's awesome because Soulja Boy's insane.
yo, the crazy thing is that like back when I was doing a lot of the major music videos, like I got a shirt in Beyonce Check Up On It video. I got Soulja Boy stuff. I did Mims Like This video, which was like hot back then, you know? Like I had all these credentials. But then like in the neighborhood, people would like, my friends would call me up like, yo, so I was telling so-and-so about all the stuff that you do. They don't believe you.
Yeah.
They don't believe that you the one doing it. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
Well,
Well, that's
like,
because people are haters in the world, you know what I mean?
not
People
only
just
that,
don't
I'm
wanna
like,
believe.
yeah, well, it's because that they feel like in their mind that they will never reach that level. So how the fuck is Jay doing it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Exactly. Why not you? You know what I mean? I had that happen one time, and it was like nothing even successful. Like I went to my buddy was in rehab in Florida. He got out. He was living in a halfway house, and I like was like, yo, when you get 90 days sober, that's like when you can get like super involved in AA. I was like, I'll fly down and speak for you if you take a commitment at a meeting. And I went down there, dude, and he was like, you can't stay at the halfway house, which all week he was like, you're good, dude. For like months. I had the plane ticket. He's like, you're good, dude. Then I showed up, and he was like, you can't stay here. And I was like, well, I'm not, like, you know what I mean? I came down here with $300. I'm only here for like 3 days. I didn't really need money.
Right.
I was in Port St. Lucie, Florida. It's not like I was partying or doing anything cool. I was there to speak and go home.
right.
Because I'm a psychopath. I was like, I'll go. And we got there, and he was like, listen, you can't stay here, but I got you set up in a nice place. And it was an abandoned house.
Really?
So like 4 years sober, I slept in an abandoned house, and I came back and I was telling people the story, and some dude was like, I don't believe you did that. I'm like, why would I make that up? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that was cool. That's not the hot shit on the streets. It's like, yo, you slept in an abandoned house. You're killing it, dude. So it's the worst.
That's because he can't see himself doing that. That's what
Yeah.
I realize. When people don't believe shit like that, I'm like, yeah, it's because they don't see themselves doing it.
Well, I still feel like sleeping in an abandoned house not something that people couldn't be like, I could never see myself doing. It's pretty easy to do, you know.
That's
what I
it.
mean?
That's credentials I don't have. I never slept in an abandoned house before, so
Yeah, that was like the first, you know what I mean? I've been like technically homeless, and like I'm not good at being homeless, you know? It's not for me.
I don't think I would either.
It's not my forte, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like chose to be homeless for a while, which wasn't homeless. I was just like out in the streets until like some weird hours. Then I would just like hop in my car, and like the other homeless people would be like, you were just smoking crack with us all night. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta get to work. And they're like, you understand you were eating out of dumpsters with us? I was like, yeah, I understand that, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, but I gotta get to work. They're like, you're literally insane, because I thought I had to be about that life. I
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
too much of The Wire.
Right,
While I was
right,
getting
right.
high, I was like, this is my life. I'm built for this. I'm fucking Marlo, and everyone's like, you're more like Bubbles, dude. Which my brother used to call me Bubbles all the time, and it fucking infuriated me. But yeah. Then I was actually homeless. Like my parents actually kicked me out, and like it lasted like a good 4 days before I went to rehab, and that's when I got sober.
Good.
I was like, I'm not built for this
That's
shit.
tough love right there.
It is tough
Yeah,
love, you
yeah.
know what I mean? They've tried so many times, and they stuck in there with me, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
finally made it.
Good.
We made it out of the gutter.
That's a success story right
You know,
there then.
we made it from the halfway house in Ben Salem back to my parents' house in Ben Salem. So
Yeah.
I never left Ben Salem.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been places, but I just never leave. You know what I mean?
All right.
My
right,
rehabs in Ben Salem, usually the halfway house is like at least in Levittown, the town over.
Right,
And they're
right.
like, we got one in Ben Salem. I'm
See-
like, I'll take it.
Like, I want to say that if I ever had to be homeless, which I hope never happens, I would go to like Puerto Rico or Miami or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather be homeless where there's like a beach and
Yeah,
shit like that.
because
you
they
know
got
what I mean?
outdoor showers by those beaches too, dude. And I'm the type of person who can't function. I mean, I guess when I was getting high, I didn't shower. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just didn't take care of myself.
Yeah,
I barely ate. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't shower. I was just a scuzzball.
right.
But now I think about it, like I can't start my day without a shower.
Yo, so one time I went to Detroit for this event. They had like the Red Bull MC Challenge.
Yeah.
It was like Eminem and like a couple people were the judges. I want to
Nice.
say they had like rap battles or whatever. But it was my first time ever in Detroit. Right.
Yeah.
Detroit is a very poor city. They got a lot of homeless people. Like Philly got a lot of homeless people,
Yeah.
right? Detroit got a lot of homeless people. So I was there for 3 days. By my third day, when I would spot a homeless person like halfway down the block, I would ask them for change before they asked me for
Yeah.
change.
Just so they know, be like, hey, man.
Yo, because you couldn't go nowhere without something like, can you spare some change, right?
Dude,
So it's funny, like I told dude before he gets me, I said, bro, can you spare some change? He's like, like he knew. He's
Yeah.
like,
he's like, we're on the same hustle, respect, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, last time I was in Baltimore, I was like shocked at like just, you know, not that I'm ever shocked, because I guess they do say that we have a lot of homeless people, but I guess it's like just so part of daily routine that you just don't notice it, which is
Right, right.
terrible because these are human beings. But last time I was in Baltimore, they were just like scattered through the Inner Harbor, like laid out in the middle of the street, in the middle of the day. And I was like, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
And I'm too, if I have like a pocket full of money, I just start giving dollar bills
See,
out.
like I'm the same way. Like I usually give, you know what I mean? Like it's funny, not far from this podcast is where my church is. I actually haven't been to church for a little bit now, but
God will forgive you, man.
I would see this homeless guy on the way to church all the time. I constantly give him money every Sunday. You know what I mean?
He's smart. He got the church route. He's like, I'll guilt trip you into giving me money. You know what I mean? Yeah, apparently everywhere is pretty bad. Like they're saying like parts of LA are just homeless.
Yeah, Skid Row, right?
Yeah, like the whole town's like, hey, no one has a house here anymore. I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. Wild place, Los Angeles.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like if I was homeless, I would want to be somewhere like Miami, LA.
Yeah, where the weather stays something consistent. It sucks being homeless in the cold.
Bro,
dude.
we were just saying that we were in Arizona. It was 109 degrees and that people were homeless. And I was like, why are you here? You got to go somewhere else. Bro, you can't even be outside.
Exactly.
It's hard. You can't. You die.
Yeah, you got to be
Dude,
somewhere.
there's meth there, too. I'm like, you're tweaking out here.
I guess it makes
Right.
sense that LA's like a big homeless capital because it's like the weather's just
Nice,
fine.
yeah.
It's
And they
just
got
fine.
beaches. and
Miami
stuff
could
like
be
that.
too hot.
Yeah, I could see that,
Arizona, what is it? It's like 109, no humidity.
but- yeah.
So it's just hot.
Yeah, but see, in Philly, the thing that sucks about being homeless in Philly is that you got the worst of heat and cold.
Yeah.
Because
terrible.
in the summertime, it gets super humid. You know what I mean?
The big ongoing thing in like so for people that are sober, usually their sobriety dates in the winter, which makes sense.
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
don't
I
want to be stuck out in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's always been in the spring every time I've tried. You know what I mean? It was like May, the second try, I think like fucking March, like the end of March, the first try, and then I finally April 5th. So it's like the start of spring. And, like, and I would sit in rehab and I'm like, it's getting beautiful out. And people are like, yeah, what are we doing, dude? We could have been out there. And I'm like, all right. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, dude. There are people who do that too. They just hop in for the winter, stay sober, and then the second the summer comes around, they're like, hey, I'm back at it.
Yo, it's crazy because like where I grew up at, drug addiction has just became such an issue. It's like I guess that's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, we're kind of like the mecca of it, like recovery. Like I know a lot of people go to Florida to get sober, and there's like a lot of halfway houses there. But I think like the Philadelphia area is like huge. Like specifically Bucks County, it's like that's like part of the business around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which hey, it
Big
is what
money,
it is.
big money in that business.
I always like look at it like it's such a culture shock because like now that I'm sober, like all this stuff's around here, and I just wasn't aware of it.
Right.
And you find yourself getting a little mad, and you're like, "How come no one told me?" And it's like people have been trying to tell you for years, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right, dude. But we are coming. We're about out of time. Anything you want to close out on, or
Well, first of all, as the official sponsor,
you are an official sponsor? That is correct.
you could buy art history shirts from arthistory101.com. It's free shipping.
That's what's up. Free shipping, dude.
And Art History Store will be back. I'm not sure if we're relocating or opening up another store or moving back to the old one, but we'll be back.
Either way, we will be back. I'll include myself in the we because why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
No
Been nothing
problem,
but fun. We'll wrap that one up. That's all we got. It's always an awkward ending, so who cares? You know what I mean? And that's it.